When Sant Kabir speaks, he holds up a mirror to the heart. He says, there are people who taste the Lord's name and find it bitter, yet they taste wealth and find it sweet. Caught between these two pulls, they end up losing both. No peace in the world outside, no peace in the world within. Kabir then reminds us of something simple. When you act with goodness, when you give, when you serve, your wealth doesn't shrink. A river keeps flowing, yet never runs dry. What you offer returns in ways you cannot predict. But why does the Lord's name feel bitter at first? Because it works like medicine. It cleans you, it steadies you, it quiets the storm inside. And anything that heals you demands honesty, discipline, and patience. And why does material sweetness feel so pleasant? Because it offers comfort without asking for change. But the same sweetness can trap you. It can multiply your desires, stretch your restlessness, and pull you farther from yourself. Kabir asks us to look deeper. Where does your joy come from? From the noise that keeps growing, or from the silence that strengthens you? This journey begins with one choice: to turn, even for a moment, toward what feels bitter today, but becomes the sweetest piece of your life tomorrow.
The first couplet by Sant Kabir is: Ram naam kadwa lage, meethe lage daam. दुविधा में दोनों गिरे, माया मिली ना राम. This can be said as, one who finds spiritual remembrance very bitter and material pleasure very sweet. For them life becomes a tug of war. Such a person gains neither the joy of divine realization, nor the true contentment that the wealth promises. Both contentment and wealth slips away in his life. The second couplet is: Dharm kiye dhan na ghate, nadi na ghat neer. Apni aankhon dekh le, yu kaat kahe Kabir. Meaning is, by doing good deeds or dharma, wealth does not decrease, just as water in a river does not decrease. I say this after seeing it with my own eyes, thus says Saint Kabir. Saint Kabir ji reminds us that by charity, service, and rightness activities, our wealth does not diminish. It is like a river that keeps flowing yet never runs dry. Wealth given for good causes returns multifold. Sant Kabir says, Ram's name feels bitter, but wealth feels sweet. The remembrance of the Lord's name does not feel good to anyone in the beginning, because it is a journey like climbing a mountain. Understand it in this way. Just as eating bitter medicine is not pleasant. Only eating sweets feels good. But eating the bitter medicine keeps your body well. Your diabetes stays in control. Slowly, you become healthy. But if you keep eating sweets, your body will deteriorate, and slowly you may reach a state of illness. Similarly, the Lord's name also seems very troublesome in the beginning. But if you do not falter and remain attached to the Lord, then slowly sweetness begins to come into it. You can experience that sweetness. Peace will come to your mind. Your body will start to heal. Your illnesses will run away. – Troubles in life will gradually decrease. However, if you are not on the path of the Lord, and are only engaged in earning wealth, just like a person who indulges in sweets, your wealth gradually increases. This causes restlessness in your mind. You face difficulties in managing the wealth. You cannot sleep all night for fear that your wealth might be stolen, and you keep increasing your wealth. You cannot make proper use of it, because wealth only provides you with food, clothing, and shelter. For that, a lot of wealth is not required. If your desires have no end, then whatever wealth you have will always be less. You will move from a bicycle to a scooter, from a scooter to a car, from a car to a Mercedes. Then you will want a helicopter, and after that, you will wish to have a private airplane too, and in the end, you will not experience peace anywhere, and all this will remain here, and when the time comes, you will leave your body. No matter how much wealth you earn, if your desires are also increasing, then the earned wealth cannot fulfill your desires. But if you walk towards the Lord, then there will be peace within you. Your health will be good. You will find joy even in little food. A worldly person, if they are only engaged in earning wealth, does not feel the need for the Lord. They feel the need for the Lord only when they are in distress, otherwise, they remain engaged in accumulating wealth. But the person who is inclined towards the Lord has to do worldly work for their livelihood so that they have some wealth and their life can run smoothly. If they work hard and do good deeds, they are happier with less wealth. Their children also remain healthy. They have more intelligence, and they do not have to spend much on educating their children. This is because the children the Lord has given them are with them due to their faith and devotion. They will be intelligent from birth. This is because the pure food they have consumed comes from the pure wealth they have acquired. From that, their body is also pure. From that purity, their children will also be healthy and sacred. They will also be strong, and their mental level will be high from childhood. You can see this all around you in life. The person who remains only in the pursuit of wealth keeps sinking into work. Rest is merely for namesake in their life, because their attraction is only towards wealth. They do not know how to live simply. By staying in excessive comfort, they also spoil their health, consume impure food, and their children also follow wrong paths. The Lord always fulfills your needs. But if you want to fulfill your desires, you will have to get entangled in the mud of the world. Just as if any woman becomes pregnant, milk comes into her breasts even before the child is born. The Lord Himself provides what is necessary. You do not have to do anything for that. The Lord showers grace on everyone so that they are not deprived of food, clothing, and shelter. But if a person is carried away by the sweetness of wealth, they will eventually get entangled in all kinds of problems. Then, to get out of the problems, they will spend all their wealth and will also forget the purpose of their life, and their life will end just like that. There was a very gentle and knowledgeable person. He worked hard to earn wealth. He remained connected with the Lord, and whatever wealth he received from his business or work, he used it correctly, and what was left, he would give to the needy. He did not keep it for himself. He believed that when the next day came, the Lord would protect him and give him wealth according to his need. This continued for many years. Once, when he fell ill, his wife hid some money from him. This was because he used to distribute all his wealth every night before sleeping. When he was unwell for 2 or 4 days, there was great restlessness in his mind, and he felt that something wrong was happening in his house, because he had also become old. He was very sensitive. He asked his wife, "Are you not following my way of life?" She said, "I have saved some money for your health." She was very scared. She showed him the little money she had saved. Then this gentle person said, "Go outside the house and give it to the beggar." She went out of the house. It was night time. A beggar was sitting outside the house. She gave it to him. And when she came inside, her husband was sitting completely peaceful, and after praying to the Lord, he left this world. Before that, he could not leave because his mind was restless that something was not happening according to his way of life. So, if you stay with the Lord, maximum sensitivity will come inside you, and you will be able to leave your body in a state of awareness. And leaving the body in consciousness is the first sign of meeting the Lord. A gentle person should only try to earn as much as they need to be happy. Their children should also be happy. They can never suffer from physical or mental unhealthiness, because they live without desire. Living according to need is equal to living without desire. If you live using more than your necessity, you will only suffer, and you will not be able to leave the world peacefully. By earning pure wealth, a person is free from lust and anger. They stay away from greed, attachment, and ego. They remain like gold, and when they remain like gold, it will become difficult for any kind of problems to come into their life. A common person needs about 250 grams of food every day. That does not require much wealth. They do not remain in any dilemma. They do not remain in illusion, that is, Maya, either. They remain inclined towards the Lord and stay completely healthy. Those who live in the knowledge of the Lord have their soul illuminated. For one's own knowledge and to bring light within oneself, there is no need to spend much time on wealth or earning wealth. If you walk on the path of the Lord, you will get health. There will be peace of every kind in life, and life will remain illuminated. There is a small story. A king had 3 sons. He wanted to make a worthy boy the king. All three princes had one palace each. The king gave some wealth to all three. He gave equal wealth to all three and went away saying that he would return after 1 month. Spend minimum wealth and fill your house, as you deem fit. When the king returned after 1 month, one prince spent a little money and filled his palace only with garbage. The king could not even stand in that palace. There was such a stench. He went to the second prince. He spent a little money and filled his house with old and useless things and returned the remaining wealth to the king. Seeing these two princes, the king felt great distress in his mind. So, finally, with a disappointed mind, he went to the third prince. As soon as he arrived there, the prince returned almost all the wealth to him, took him into his palace, and the palace was so illuminated as if it were the festival of Diwali. The prince said, "With little wealth, the palace can be illuminated, and one's mind can also be illuminated with knowledge. No wealth is spent on knowledge and meditation. No wealth is spent on going to the Lord, and from that, knowledge is gained, intelligence is gained, consciousness is developed, and finally, the person reaches the Lord." The king could not stop his tears of happiness, and he felt that the Lord himself had appeared in his house. It was natural that he was crowned. Through devotion to the Lord, so much knowledge comes into you that even your cow becomes a kamdhenu or a wish-fulfilling cow. There is a very famous story of Maharshi Vasishtha, who was also the guru of Ram, and Dashrath had sent all his sons, including Ram, to him for education. He was supremely knowledgeable. He spent his time only in devotion to the Lord. Only knowledge emerged from his words. There was knowledge in his speech, and the luster of knowledge had also come into his eyes. His ashram was very peaceful. Once, King Kaushik came to him. He was returning after a battle somewhere, and on the way, he found Vasishthaji's ashram. King Kaushik was very happy to meet Maharshi Vasishtha. Maharshi Vasishtha arranged food for all his soldiers and everyone who had come with him. King Kaushik was very pleased. He was greatly surprised that arrangements for everyone's food were made in this jungle in such a short time, and the food was so delicious. Then he came to know that Vasishtha had a kamdhenu cow, which provides everything he desires, and everything happens very easily. King Kaushik said, "Maharshi, please give us this kamdhenu cow." The Maharshi said, "O king, the kamdhenu cow is not given away. It has to be earned by oneself." But King Kaushik did not understand. He became very angry and proceeded to fight with him. But Vasishtha defeated him with the great power of his eyes, the great power of his consciousness, and the great power of the void or Shunya within him, and Kaushik left. After that, the king, who later became Vishwamitra, performed penance and came again to Maharshi Vasishtha for battle, bringing many weapons. He had such a powerful army. He had all the weapons, but Vasishtha had nothing. He defeated them with his spiritual and knowledge power alone. Then Vishwamitra understood that the knowledge of the Lord is the supreme knowledge. He also dedicated his life to the knowledge of the Lord and subsequently attained the great power of the Lord. And the Gayatri mantra that we chant is the contribution of Vishwamitra. Everything originated from Om, and the void or Shunya is the ultimate power. By chanting the Gayatri mantra, great power comes within you. Vishwamitra realized that a person cannot achieve anything through jealousy and comparison. A person can achieve everything only through devotion to the Lord. Vishwamitra had also killed Vasishtha's 100 sons, but Vasishtha still forgave him. He gave him intelligence, and Vishwamitra walked on the path of the Lord. The story of the Mahabharata is a very popular tale. Lord Krishna was the companion of the Pandavas. The Pandavas' army was also very small. The Kauravas' army was very vast. They had great warriors. Still, they were defeated. This is because where the power of the Lord resides, and where there is the sweetness of the Lord's power, victory is theirs. No one has ever achieved victory in this world with weapons, arms, and wealth. Victory is achieved only by the grace of the Lord and by walking on the path of the Lord. Sant Kabir's second couplet is, by doing good deeds, wealth does not decrease, just as water in a river does not decrease. A person's wealth never decreases by doing good deeds or by giving charity. Everything increases by giving. If you keep taking water out of your well, more water comes. Knowledge, which is like wealth, increases by sharing it. The greatest charity in the world is the gift of knowledge. The more you share it, the more it will increase. And if you also donate wealth with faith, without desire, and dedicate it to the Lord, it will return to you manifold. If you use your wealth for the progress of your society, build schools, and build hospitals, and if you do not have arrogance, the Lord will give you power in every way. If you invest wealth in the advancement of knowledge, there is no end to the form and rate of increase in which it will return to you. Ansuya, the wife of Rishi Atri, was a very devout wife. Atri was equal to God for her. Ansuya offered all her power and all her faith to Atri, considering him to be the Lord. Ansuya's whole life was spent in devotion to the Lord. Her famous story is that seeing her devotion as a wife, Saraswati, Lakshmi, and Parvati all felt greatly insulted that Ansuya had become so great. All three felt very angry. Once, all three called their husbands, Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, and requested them to go to Ansuya and ask for alms in a strange manner. So, Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh went to Ansuya for alms. Ansuya prepared food and brought it to give them as alms. But all three said that they would take the alms only if she came before them naked and offered the alms. Now, how could she come naked before these three Brahmins? This would have been an insult to her duty as a wife or Patni Dharma. Ansuya, because she was in devotion to the Lord. She had the wealth of righteousness, or say, Dharma. She was able to see everything with her own eyes. These three who have come in the form of Brahmins are the three great powers. Her eyes of knowledge could see them. She did nothing. She sprinkled the Ganga water she had on the three of them, and the three became babies. She breastfed all three of them, naked. She also followed her duty as a wife. She also pleased the Brahmins. Their wish was also fulfilled, and she was not disturbed in any way. Just then, Rishi Atri, her husband, arrived. He was greatly surprised to see the three children. But in an instant, he understood everything, that these three were the great powers. He praised his wife. And when Maharshi Atri understood this, Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh also appeared in their real form. They were very pleased with Atri and Ansuya and asked Maharshi Atri, "What blessing do you wish for?" So, Atri and Ansuya bowed and asked for a blessing, that by their blessing, three sons should be born in their house who could lead the world on the path of righteousness. Brahma gave them moon as a son. Vishnu gave them Dattatreya. We all know this Lord Dattatreya, who developed the method of meditation in every form. And Lord Shiva gave them Durvasa Muni. This was the purity of Ansuya. It was her righteousness, because through her righteousness, she wished for the welfare of the world. She was the form of a river. She never hesitated to help anyone. She also manifested the Ganga through the glory of her righteousness. With the power of her eyes, she realized in a moment that these three Brahmins, who were the forms of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, had come to confuse her. This is the light of righteousness and knowledge that grants you such great intelligence. By walking on the path of the Lord, the wealth of knowledge also comes, and the realization of the entire universe occurs, because through knowledge, you reach the state of void. From the void, you reach the state of the great void. You move from duality to non-duality or Advait. Just as a river has two banks, but if you go into the depth, both banks are one inside. In the depth, there is only emptiness, and when the emptiness inside you meets the emptiness of the universe, then whatever you desire manifests from the universe. Just as Ansuya, with the power of her knowledge, was connected to the great void, and that great void manifested the Ganga in her place. This state comes only by walking on the path of the Lord. The Lord makes you completely desireless, and when you become desireless, you become the form of the Lord. When you are the form of the Lord, then whatever you desire, for the welfare of society or for your own knowledge, you get everything in a moment. But if you keep accumulating only wealth in life, the wealth will remain here, and you will leave everything and go. Stay in the fragrance of the Lord. Propagate the fragrance of the Lord, and by dissolving yourself in that fragrance, reach the Lord. This is the great achievement of life, and this is the goal of life. Our goal should be to not go after wealth but to go into the name of the Lord and become one with Him. Thank you.